What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're going to be diving into a mono black zombies deck that actually has a 75% win rate in Mythic. That's crazy. That's the nuts, right? So I know you're looking at the deck and you're saying, Chance, you got a ton of 3-drops, but what it actually is our 3-drops are kind of spaced out. Now we do still have a ton of 3-drops if you're looking over here, but they're all sort of spaced out, right? We have 1 here, 2 here, 2, we have a bunch of 2-offs basically. Now if you want to help slim that down a little bit, you could remove potentially the Bastion, but I found this really helps in the longer games. The most probable 3-drop that I would drop is Liliana Standard Bearer, but you know, this is probably sideboard if you go to play best of 3. We were playing it in best of 1, and so this card was mostly tacked on as a just in case. Anyways, diving into this deck, what makes this deck playable now? Why are we able to revisit zombies and actually smash in Mythic with them? Well, Liliana's Devotee has pretty much always been a solid card for its mana value. So 3 mana, zombies you control get +1/+0, which is nice. It means that if you're going for an aggro style beatdown, which is kind of what this deck is, it's really good at just throwing it down, and now your Mire Triton deals 3 damage, now your Foulmire deals 2 damage, you know, so on and so forth. However, the really beautiful thing, at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you may pay 2 mana. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So the cool thing about this is it doesn't say non-token creature died this turn, it just says if a creature died this turn, which means essentially, right, if you can create a zombie from anywhere, you have your Mire Tritons or your Tymarets or Murderous Foulmire, you have all of these kind of things, right, that can die and easily be replaced. If they even start it, right, 2 mana, you create another 2/2 black creature zombie token, you swing in with it on the next turn, it's a 3/2 because you have Liliana's Devotee down, right? Let's say your opponent decides to trade out for it or they use removal or whatever, right? Pay 2 more mana, now you have another 3/2 back, ready for the next turn. So this card is really good at helping you build up a board state. Couple that along with Ayara, which allows you to sacrifice creatures, black creatures, and gain card draw and deal damage whenever they enter the battlefield and gain life. That means every single turn with Ayara and Liliana's Devotee, you can sacrifice the zombie that you make with Liliana's Devotee after, of course, you swung in and potentially dealt damage. Draw the card, then pay 2 mana to create another zombie, which is then going to deal damage again with Ayara and gain you life and gain you another 3/2 zombie, which is insane. Now, surrounding the rest of this deck, we have 3 copies of Bloodchief's Thirst, some really awesome removal. And I think, honestly, if you're playing a deck such as this, where you want to be more aggro and all that, and don't want to invest too much into removal, this is key, right? 1 mana card that can essentially remove any creature, given you kick it, right? And any planeswalker? Yeah, sign me up. Foulmire Knight, gonna allow you to draw some cards. Outside of that, it's a 1 mana 1/1 knight, or zombie, I mean, that has Death Touch, so that's why it's in the deck. 1 copy of Malakir Rebirth to help us keep our stuff alive, and it's also just a land, right? So you're not really drawing back too much. You're only playing mono black here, so you don't have to worry about, you know, this being your only source of black mana and it being a tap, so oh, I can't play it. So it's actually really good in decks like this. Village Rites is going to help you get value out of your opponent going to remove your stuff, and again, it's going to allow you to sacrifice creatures, which then you can use Liliana's Devotee to bring some back, right? Ghastly Gloomhunter is the new zombie we got from Zendikar, and actually a rather nice one in this deck. So 2 mana for this flying lifelinker 1/1. So at base, it's a 2 mana healer sock, and that's not fantastic. However, coupled with Liliana's Devotee, now these are up to 2 damage, which is nice. And if you have enough to kick it out, then it enters with 2 +1/+1 counters, and now you have a 3/3 or potentially a 4/3 flying lifelinking creature, which is really good. And all of this just in the 2-drop slot. So again, you have the 2-drop if you need it, and come mid-game, you got a big old 3/3 or 4/3 flying lifelinker if you need that, which is enough to deal with Rankle and get through that stuff. Heartless Act is some good removal. You have to be a little careful with this, as there are a lot of decks nowadays that get counters on them. Excuse me, generally like the Wicked Wolf decks and, you know, Selesnya counters in general. Mire Triton going to be another zombie, has Death Touch, allows you to mill 2 cards and gain 2 life, which is really nice. Milling can help you find your Mnemonic Embraces, so that's not bad. Bastion is going to gain you life every time a creature dies, and it's also going to give you a creature off the bat when it enters. The creature dying part is the main part that we are concerned with, because again, you can use Ayara, sacrifice your creatures, bring them back with Liliana's Devotee, and never really lose anything. Similarly, Silversmote Ghoul, 3 mana for this 3/1. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, which is really rather simple to do, you can return it to the battlefield from your graveyard tap. pay 2 mana, sacrifice it, get to draw another card. So it has a lot of value within itself, and it's only an uncommon. Not to mention the fact that you have Mire Triton, which gains you 2 life, Ayara, which gains you life. You know, it's crazy. You have Bastion, Ghastly. There's stuff here, there, and everywhere to gain you life. You have Grey Merchant, right, which is the top end zombie, can allow you to really combo out and finish out your opponent. 5 mana for this 2/4. Whenever it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion black. We have Hagra Mauling for some additional removal, and then outside of that, we just have the standard bearer and the Agadeems to help us bring back a ton of creatures, right? That's pretty much going to do it. This is a best of 1 deck. Again, I've said it a million times, but if you're playing something like this where it's very pinnacle on a few cards and you're maybe playing budget, you don't really want to go into best of 3. It's just going to end up with your graveyard getting exiled every single game, right? So I think this Zombies deck is super beautiful. It's super fun to play, and it kicked ass in best of 1 today. We had a 75% win rate, so super excited for all y'all to see the matches and see just how incredible this deck really is. Anyways, if you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like down below, comment in the comment section, subscribe if you want to see more, if you're new here and you want to support the channel through free means. Not to mention the fact that if you hit that bell icon, you get the decks ASAP, which means you can be the first to know when these awesome top tier jank levels are actually coming out, right? Anyways, aside from all that, if you want to join the Discord community, down in the description of every video, there's a link. I highly recommend you go click on it, check it out, see if it's your cup of tea. And of course, if you want to see us play these decks live, hop over to twitch.tv/DrSpelk, toss a follow. We're live most days. If we're not live on that day, you can expect us on the next day or maybe later that night. You know, I generally try to get in somewhere. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the matches. Yorota gonna be our first foe. We will keep this. We have the turn 2 creature, turn 3 creature that buffs the turn 2 creature, and some removal along the way. You know, gotta say I'm a happy man if I can have these things play out well for me. There we go. Sorry, our lands had to decide in which order they wanted to land there. Get it? Land. Anyways. Yorota? Mono green, huh? Nah, you just want to leave my Ghastly Gloomhunter alone, trust me. It's no biggie. No biggie at all. Don't tell me you're the 1 green player that runs removal for flyers. Surely not. I guess they could have, what's that flash creature that has reach on it, right? Yeah, you. You're the one I was talking about. Howdy. Howdy, howdy, howdy. So they're probably going to put some counters on the Wildborn yet. What, really? You run a main board Wildborn and a Chain Web. My goodness, this person is terrified of rogues. Well then, I'll be. What a little peach. Alright, well I'll show you what that Wildborn will earn you right there. Bucko. Buster. Buckaroo. Anyways, we're going to swing in with the Liliana's Devotee. We'll see if they decide to block with Chain Web. They're not going to. We'll get in the sweet, sweet, blissful damage. And I think we do go ahead and draw a card here with Foulmire. Don't mind if I do. Nessian Horn Beetle. Alright, and then 2 mana. What did they do with the other 2 mana? I wonder. Gnarled Colony. Interesting. Interesting. Alright, so we're definitely playing this down. We have 5 mana. I can go for the Ayara and then Heartless Act the Nessian. That sounds pretty good. And Ayara is going to allow us to sacrifice creature, which will allow us to use Liliana's Devotee. So all that is good. Good. We want to go ahead and take you out, and that's what I thought. So you can swing in again here. Take them down to 13. Boom, bam. Thank you, ma'am. On our next turn, we might end up throwing down the Foulmire, sacrificing it with the Ayara, drawing a card, creating a zombie. Let's see. Only costs us 3, still leaves us with 2 mana, which is enough for the Mire Triton. It's also a Tymaret. Alright, I like the idea of getting down the zombie and then following it up with the Mire Triton. I do think I want to go ahead and draw the card, right? More mana. More mana. Well, I won't complain. We have a Death Touch blocker for the... what's it called? Is it better to go ahead and play the Tymaret? It is more mana efficient. There we go. And you gotta remember these black zombies that we're creating are black creatures, so they proc the Ayara as well. Ooh, that's good for them. good for them. They can swing him with Stone Cool, but they're only gonna end up dealing little points of damage. Alright, the Gnarlid colonies are gonna be a little worrisome. They are. Alright, so let's go ahead and play our Tymaret, and this is if a creature at all died. Beautiful. Alright, so what would we like to exile here? Probably the Foulmire. We have 2 copies of it. Alright. Well, I was gonna sack one to draw, but instead we're just gonna let that damage go through. Oh, sorry. Auto pay on that. Alright, so we do have enough to still double block the Stone Cool if that's what we want to do. It's unfortunate they have the trample, so we can't do the Ayara block sack plan, right? Do we want to double block into the Stone Cool? I think so. Now, if they go to bolster to Stone Cool, we might actually use Ayara to sacrifice one of them. They don't. They're just going to take it out, right? Cool beans. Cool beans. I wish Liliana's Devotee worked on their turn as well. I think then it would be a very, very playable card. Yikes. Big ol' 8/8 Stone Cool. We're going to need another Bloodchief's Thirst, huh? Or yeah, some more land. I do enjoy that as well. Let's get rid of our other Foulmire. Wow. Alright. Well, you certainly don't like to see that. Oh, yeah, we can do this. Alright. I was gonna say, if I do this, I won't have enough to actually, but I will. Alright. There we go. Alright, so now we got a 4/3 in the air. They do still have the Stone Cool, which can block it. We really got to get rid of that Stone Cool, so we'll need our other Bloodchief's Thirst, right? What else do we have that could potentially remove it? I mean, we have Heartless Act, which can knock it down to a 5 power, but I'd like to actually remove it. They're going to go for the Chain Web, which is going to be able to take out the Ghastly Gloomhunter. They had just enough cards, huh? Motherfucker. The real pain in the ass is actually the Great Hinge, as it keeps gaining them life. I feel like with Ayara, we definitely could have taken them out by now. We're going to have to take that 8 damage on the chin. Nothing we can really do about that. Now, we do have 2 zombies down still here, so Tymaret is going to allow us to scry 2, heal 2. I'm sorry. Oh, right. Liliana's Devotee actually isn't it? Well, I can tell you one thing. We certainly don't need that fucking land, huh? Might should have even left it on top so it got milled here instead of us milling something that we might actually need, right? That's okay, though. We do have the Mire Triton now, so the Death Toucher should put a little bit of fear. Ah, fuck. There's our Bloodchiefs. There goes our Bloodchiefs. Alright, well, we keep doing this little cycle, right? Where we sacrifice, draw a card. Sure, we'll play this down. We're gonna end up milling ourselves. We'll be all right. We want to get rid of, I guess, a Mire Triton. We have multiple. No attacks. Auto pay. Auto pay. Oh, right. Okay, sure. There we go. Now auto pay. I will say this. This deck is doing a fantastic job of keeping creatures on the board. Right? We're continuously drawing cards thanks to Ayara. It feels mighty okay, you know? I'm not gonna say it's like top of the world, but it's feeling pretty good. If they didn't have so much goddamn trample, honestly, we'd be sitting pretty. Sitting pretty. Okay, so we block like this, and I think we might just be able to get lethal. Another Wildborn. Oh, that's annoying. All right, just sink all your mana into your first Wildborn. You know you want to be greedy. Come on, do it. Oh, damn it. They just sunk enough to make me not happy. Okay. All right, lethal. GG, that was nice. Oh, let's get it out there. There we go. Jesus at War, gonna be our next foe, and this is not a keepable hand. We only had one land. This is keepable. This is for sure keepable. We'll just toss back one of the lands. Oh, I'm gonna be super happy if this deck can perform. You know what I mean? I love playing zombies, and if I can play zombies in standard, oh baby. All right, so this is some kind of variation of the food deck, Selesnya. So probably the Selesnya Yorion food deck, right? I gotta sneeze. Okay. Interesting decision here. Well, no. Yeah, okay. This is fun. I was gonna say there's an argument to be made for destroying the Land of War Visionary before they untap. However, because they don't have any food, I think it's better to allow it. Okay. I was gonna say, because if they play a Wicked Wolf and they don't have any food to protect it, then I can immediately remove it with Murderous Rider, and that is one just cleared out the way, right? That other Go-To Goose, though, definitely doesn't make things fun. I think we will still use the Murderous Rider here. Now I can play Agadeem's down as a land, have mana for Village Rites if I so choose. Hagra Mauling is decent as well. I think I am going to get Agadeem's down as a land, given we didn't open with a very low cost creature hand, sort of. We have some higher cost, so the chances of us getting Agadeem's and being able to return these creatures is a little lower. Opponent has 2 mana. What could they do? Okay, I was about to say, what could they do at instant speed to remove a Murderous in Selesnya colors? I'm not quite sure, but thankfully it's going to live. Omen of the Sun. Alright. So it is indeed the Yorion food deck. Yikes. So Demonic Embrace on Murderous is pretty good, and we'll still have the 1 mana for Village Rites. We don't need to remove anything of theirs quite yet. Though I will say we need to start keeping up mana for that. I think getting a 5/4 flying lifelinker is a great way to start. Now, if they play Wolf, we are a little screwed, as it just sort of kills our Murderers. I almost wanted to play the Hagra Mauling down here, but if they do get down a Wolf at the same time, it's going to be much, much better to have the Mauling than Heartless Act. That Heartless Act is so tricky to try to kill a Wolf with. But the Hagra Mauling come down would have allowed us to get the Grey Merchant, but it wasn't lethal, so it's not like it's, you know, dire need. Anyways, the opponent does have 3 mana still here to access, 4 if you count the 1 from the food. They're going to get down another Land of War Visionary. I'm not too upset about that. Now this means we can untap and have mana to deal with the Wolf as soon as it comes down, instead of it being able to come down and remove our Murderous Rider, right? It's going to be a little tricky, though, in timing that. We'll have to wait until they go to activate the food to give it indestructible from the Murderous, and then as it's proccing, we destroy it, right? Oh, another Demonic Embrace. I mean, that does put our Murderous up to, like, legit status, but you know, the unfortunate thing with the Wolf as well is So if we go to destroy it, I feel like they would make a food, right? They would like make a food with the goose and then keep it alive. They're gonna block out with one goose here. I do like to see that. The geese in these food decks are a lot more valuable than what you may initially think. We'll keep the mana up. I think that is the right play here. That's not bad. That's not bad for us because we can just remove both of them. They don't have a solid enough board to where like the swing in off of the rest of the creatures is really going to affect us too much, right? And the angels don't gain indestructible, which is probably the best and most fair part of that whole spell. Alright. Alright, so that's going to be it for them. We are going to go ahead and take out one angel here. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Good day. And then we'll turn around and use Heartless Act on our next turn. Oh, and look at that. We got another land, which means Gray Merchant is now viable as well. Where the hell did they gain so much life from? I think I missed that part. Let's go ahead and get another Demonic Embrace on the Murderous Rider. Again, to strike that fear deep into the souls. Now, their Goose does have Indestructible, so as swinging in here, we're not going to deal with it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so their Goose had Indestructible there, so we shouldn't have dealt the damage, right? They should have blocked, but we still would have gained the 8 life, which is really, really, really nice. So, anyways. And then repop all this stuff out, so they'll gain some life with Omen. They don't have the mana to sack a food. They do have 2 flying creatures, though. Oh, I needed this to be like a permanent, because Gray Merchant's so close to actually just taking them out, taking them downtown. That's okay. We'll still pop them for a lot. Now they'll block with Goose here. Oh, where's my veto when I need it? He's not in the deck, just so everyone knows, but you know. Also, I'd like to say that we've been doing this with only 2 of our zombos. You know, we don't even need an army. We got Murderers, we got Gray Merchant, we got the army. That's a little unfortunate, because they're going to go straight for the Murderers, right? Good news, though. So we resolved this. They're going to eat 2 food. Hungry boys. Hungry boys. But we're going to Village Rites the Murderous Rider at the last minute. Draw 2 cards off of that, which means we should have enough to play both of those Demonic Embraces right back, so resolve it. Yep, go ahead. Eat another food. And then we sack. Oh no. There's no way that's gonna work, right? There's no way. Holy fuck. Okay. Alright. No, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. I was a little worried about the ooze, exiling those, because I was like, you know, I can play those back, yada yada yada. But we actually don't need to. We just don't need to. That's the GG, isn't it? What do they have to proc here? What do they have to proc? Fuck, what do they have to proc? Oh, the wolf eating the food. Oh, baby. That's a GG. Good day to you, Selesnya Yorian. You top tier meta deck. You can't even deal with the few little zombos. There is no self. That's some deep shit, man. That's some deep shit. Yeah, we'll keep it. This seems manageable, we'll say. I do want to go for the Foulmire, for the early Foulmire, mostly because we have the Village Rites. If I didn't have that, I'd probably weigh it. Two Ayaras, not 1 but 2, ladies and gents. Not uno, but dos. Actually, point could have been made to go for Hagra Mauling there, so we could have had untapped on 3 guaranteed. I'm sorry, everybody. I think that was a sleet misplay. Oh, it doesn't matter. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. Now, our opponent doesn't have any basic lands, which means we could actually just Hagra Mauling that Clerics for the 3-ski free ski. I'm very tempted. I also kind of want to just throw this down and, like, you know, have it like that. Let's let them know we're thinking. So if I go Bastion, we get a 1-1 as well. We can swing him with Foulmire, but the 1-1 can't block the Clerics. If I get down Ayara, again, the Cleric probably gains life and then gets bigger, and then, yeah, you know what? Talked myself right into that one. It's just because it worked, you know? Opponent chose not to play a basic land until turn 3. Sure, fine by me. Null Priest of Oblivion. Alright, I don't actually think that the Null Priest is worth really removal, right? I want to go for the Ayara. I want to get one of these bad boys down. We will go for the swing in here. I think that's perfectly worth it. Nope. I guess an argument could be made for defending, right? Yeah. Especially in this scenario, huh? That's alright. We got the Heartless Act, so we'll be able to take out the Luminarch, which we'll definitely want to, right? Now, this does mean that they'll be able to destroy our Ayara if we choose to double block, so we'll have to figure something out with that. Although what we could allow, right? Go for the double block, use Ayara to sack out Foulmire, and we'll still take out Null Priest. If they do manage to have some form of removal, we could also Village Rites our Ayara. Alright, so that's our plan here. We're going to double block Null Priest, and that's interesting. Alright, never mind. We'll just take the 3 damage from Null Priest. I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright, so I do want to get the Ayara back down. We do have Malakir Rebirth, though, this time to aid us in our attempt to keep her alive, so. Luminarch Aspirant is going to build up that Null Priest one more, right? Yeah. Okay. Okie dokie. Take care of that. That does gain them more life, but we're getting our Ayara right back, so that's good. We're gaining life as well. We got enough for the Bastion. Do I want to go ahead and go for the Ghastly Gloomhunter? D's a good question. If I don't, come next turn, I can for sure kick it. I think we'll take the for sure kick. And we'll swing it with the Ayara because we got to start dealing damage. Start applying the pressure. Now, this does mean that they'll get to crack back with Luminarch. Suppose we could have kept Ayara back. This isn't a... Yeah, this is colorless, isn't it? No, it's a white human soldier. Okay, so it doesn't work with Ayara like that. Ah, that's fine. They're going to put it on Luminarch. They are going to swing in with Luminarch. I think we do block here. Mire Triton. Mire Triton's interesting. But I think I just want to kick this bad boy down. Alright, opponent's playing, I think it's an Orzhov. It's either Orzhov Clerics or it's Orzhov Aggro, but it looks like Clerics, right? Could be Aggro with Clerics, you never know. Alright, Cleric of Life's Bond and Archfiends. That makes sense. So that's going to go up to a 3/3. They're going to gain some more life here. Are they going to swing in, I guess, is the real question. Yeah, that makes sense. They'll at least swing in with the 3/2, right? No, they don't. Alright, well. Cool freaking beans, man. How much life have we gained? Just 2? There we go. Needed to make sure it was 3. Veto for our foe. Fuck me, I hate a veto. I mean, it's fantastic for them, but it's absolute horse shit for us. Yeah, this is gonna hurt. He's going to hurt a lot. So they should actually put this on the Archfiend's Vessel, believe it or not. Yeah. Are they gonna swing all in? I could see it. Just swinging with Null Priest? I don't know how much I like that on their part, right? So then we go past the blocks. They don't have any sort of interaction. We sack you here. Deal damage. Still get to kill it. Yeah. Now, they are dealing damage with Veto. This is just a whole back and forth kind of game of life. It sucks that they have that cleric. Otherwise, we'd be able to apply pressure with the Silversmote Ghouls, right? Alright, this is fine. We still have them down to 13, so it's not like we're doing terrible. Aura. You really hate to see that card when you're planning on killing one of their creatures. Alright, luckily though, this 5/5 doesn't have lifelink, so they might not be tempted to swing in here. I do think they'll put that counter on the Ra. No, on the Archfiends. That's strange. Our opponent's just making strange plays. They're just going for the single turn maximize efficiency instead of the, like, long drawn out, and I don't think that that's necessarily correct. Do I want to draw a card here? Sacrifice Foulmire? I think so. Oh, that's good. Alright, so if I play this down, puts it to 7, play this down 9. 9 damage. They're left with 5 health, which means Ghastly Gloomhunter puts them to 2 life. Oh, whew, that's close. Alright, what's our alternative play? We have 7 men. Oh, if we had 8, I could go Demonic. That might be lethal. But we don't, so we'll put this down. Oh, wait a minute, but we also have Ayara. Is that enough? Is that, like, exactly enough? No, 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 for sure not, right? Oh, but it is! Good game. Zombies picking up victory number dose. Paprika. Hey, I'm gonna get a little spicy up in here. Get it? Because paprika is a spice. I actually don't think paprika is a spicy spice, but it is a spice. So, any hoosers, you know, I'll keep this. I really love Liliana's Devotee. I don't like the fact that he's like, dude, put a fucking shirt on. Put a shirt on. Even Grey Merchant has a little toga, right? Who chills in a graveyard shirtless? That's just weird. That's not even creepy. That's just weird. But you know, it's a fantastic card. Certainly not one to knock. I'm actually gonna go for the Agadeems early here. I'm gonna feel okay in that too, I think. If Paprika here is playing an aggro deck, oh baby. I just hit the nail on the head with that one, right? Let me put this land down tapped just in case our opponent's playing aggro, like as is 70% of the meta. So I don't have to cost myself life later, right? What is this? What? I've never seen you before. Are you like the next level, the next transformation? It's like the Bulbasaur creature, right? Cool. We should change our kitty cat to be appropriate colors, right? There we go. Oh, hey, look at little pixies. Has that always been part of the map? Paprika, what you got for me? I do not like the way zombies look, but it actually looks pretty fun. Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, zombies, we lost a lot of zombies in rotation, okay, and I'm not happy about it. The only non-black zombie we have, the only one that's even a little bit out of color, is Polucranus, however you want to say it, right? So I feel very, very oppressed trying to play zombies right now in standard, but we're doing it, we're making it work, and I gotta say it's doing a lovely job. So I'm with you. At first glance I was like, man, this is gonna be one of those jank decks, and I'm like, you know, this is just for me, ladies and gents, but it's not. It's actually doing some pretty good stuff here. So if this isn't fearful, I don't know what is. Now we can block here, and that forces them to sink the 1 mana into Kargan. We're not going to have enough for Liliana's Devotee to gain us stuff anyway, so we're essentially preventing 4 points of damage here. Alright. And we're gaining life with Bastion. I think up against a mono red deck, these are the things you want to do. Alright, so if I go for this here, come next turn, I can actually play Liliana's Devotee, and if those zombies do die, then I can sacrifice them. I think that's better than just throwing down our Liliana's Devotee and having the 1 leftover mana. So we're going to go for a Tymaret. We'll see what we can rack up here. We'll exile the other Tymaret. Create a little Zombo. This deck is very efficient at keeping you healthy, though, and I think that's one of the main things that people are kind of ignoring right now in Standard is, like, there's so much aggro, yes, and it's all so painful. But what is aggro's worst enemy, you know? Besides the big old board wipe, right? Aggro's worst enemy is life gain, right? You go for longer than what it takes for them to kill you, and then you still have cards left over. Now, I'm not going to say that this works every single time. Obviously, you can still really get your cheeks clapped, you know? We're down to 13 life here, but it's certainly a... What? Yeah, they're looking at that and they're like, damn, bro. That's either really good or really bad for you. And I'm going to say it's really good because we're already at 5 land, you know? So I could go for the Liliana's Devotee. However, we're not going to lose a creature on this turn for sure because they swung all in. So I definitely think I should go for the Mire Triton plus Liliana's Devotee. This heals us and gives us a ton of creatures down, right? Get through that, you mono red bitch. Ha ha ha. Like I said, this deck is very, very efficient at just creating a board state, you know, and it may not be the biggest, you know, the most healthy creature we have is the Devotee, but it's bodies, and so if your opponent doesn't have trample, you're just chumming it for days. Might as well go down to the Krusty Krab, kick it across the street to the chum bucket, because that's all we're doing. Or is it chump? Is it chump blocking or chum blocking? I always figured it was chum, like, you know, chum in the waters, sharks, you know. But I guess different people hear different things and assume different things, right? You could also assume it's chump, like, you know, hey, that guy's a chump. Might as well block with him. I'm a goof. You don't have to fucking say it, all right? I don't want the land. I do want the Murderous Rider. I wish that that Tymaret could stay down just long enough for me to play that Gray Merchant, but I know, alas, it shall not. Swinging with both, swinging with one. Swinging with both. Swinging with both, for sure, for sure. This will kick them down to, if they take it, kick them down to 9 health, which means our Gray Merchant will deal 5, 6 damage. Almost enough to get them there, right? Now they're deciding, do they want to block? Because if they do, one, we're losing a creature, which means we're dealing damage with Bastion, and we're also getting a creature back with Liliana's Devotee. So I think they did make the right decision there in not blocking. But we're still going to get down Mire Triton, still going to gain some life. You know, I didn't really think about that Murderous Rider play. Let me keep this on top of my library so I can then turn around and mill it. Whatever. You can't all be winners. Do we take this damage? I mean, it's 19 fucking damage. If they got an Ember Cleave, they can boost up Kargan. That's 10 damage there. They got 4, 7 there. And they still have 1 bit of mana left over. So it wouldn't be lethal, they'd be off by 2, right? I mean, that seems pretty obvious. And then... Again, they could have Embercleave buff Kargan, that's 10 points of damage. If we put the Mire Triton to Kargan, it doesn't actually do anything for us, right? I guess we're fine there. We should probably do this, right? That is less damage, so then we're only taking 12. Mm-hmm. Okay, alright, that makes sense. That was brutal. That was beautiful for them, but brutal for us. Just an absolute ass clap. So we can deal 4. This deals 4 more. Oh my god. Mono black zombies, 3 and 1.